Hello, my name is Peregrine. If I had a nickel for every time I liked an Overwatch villain more than an Overwatch hero, I'd be a considerably rich man. Which is a massive problem when you remember that, as a writer, your fans aren't supposed to like your villains more than your heroes, which means something along the way has gone horribly wrong. So the objective of this video is to explain why some of these heroes don't work, and what you could do to change them and make them a little bit better. I'm going to open this video with honourable mentions. I think Lucio and Wu Yang come close to being on this list. These are both characters that I would like to see changes to. Lucio suffers in the same way Tracer does, where he is endlessly optimistic and heroic. However, unlike Tracer, Lucio isn't a one-man army. He was simply a leader of a rebellion, and he had to commit some crimes to get that shit started. So, by definition, he's not a flawless character. However, I think he is overly forgiving, and I would like to see more of Lucio's anger to be expressed. He has a few voice lines expressing anger at Vishkar, but in my opinion this isn't enough. Other problems I have with Lucio include, I find that the concept of a musician leading a rebellion to be very East Coast millennial liberal writing. It reminds me of the intense virtue signalling in the music industry who act like messiahs while doing absolutely nothing to further the causes they speak about. Think Jay-Z or Taylor Swift with their empty political messaging while being billionaires. I also think that the idea of his lo-fi beats to chill to being the backing track to brutal riots is just fucking moronic. It's just stupid. No one's fucking rioting to very softcore EDM. It's fucking stupid. If you're gonna make a musician that's starting riots, you make them a metal musician or you make them a punk musician. No one is smashing a store window in while listening to fucking Marshmello. Here is some riot footage with Lucio's music behind it. Tell me if you think this is suitable. Wu Yang is another character who gets a lot of shit, particularly in my comment section, and to a certain degree I do agree. He is a wholesome Chungus character and has no particular flaws other than his lack of confidence and over-reliance on his sister, but to be honest, I'm kind of biased towards him. I'm not going to go too much into detail of why, because I want to make a future video about the elemental siblings that's already in the scripting phase. I will say, Wu Yang does need his character explored, but I'm not willing to cast too much judgment on him because he's not been out that long. Now, here's where I'm gonna go fucking sicko mode, because these two characters drive me fucking insane. There would be three, but my thoughts on Iliari are already out. So here's the other two, and unfortunately, we've got to talk about the poster girl of the game, Tracer. Tracer is a Mary Sue. I'm sorry, I know that caused a lot of trauma in my last video where I mentioned it. I'm using the word again, but I stand the fuck by it this time. By 18, Tracer was an elite pilot and was chosen to fly a time-travelling aircraft. You are not an elite pilot by 18. I'm sorry, no. Shit like this, people spend their entire lives getting to this point. And maybe you could be a pilot by 18, maybe that's possible in the case of like a savant, but to be trusted with a presumably multi-billion-dollar aircraft? No, you'd get someone who's an actual pro at it, not a fucking 18-year-old. And then, oh, would you look at that, there was an accident. But, was the accident really Tracer's fault? No, because Tracer is perfect, so the accident was someone else's fault. And this ended up with her getting lost in time. What the fuck does lost in time mean? Ignoring that, and the fact that her powers don't make any fucking sense, she was saved by Monkey, and then instantly learned how to use her time powers effectively for the side of good. I'm sure there was a little bit of training, but she seemed to get it down fucking instantly because she went straight to the London Uprising and sorted that shit lickety-split. How the fuck the time powers even work, I don't know. I don't know how she solved that so quickly, and I don't know how she got to harness it so quickly. As for flaws, Tracer has none. She is always peppy, optimistic, charismatic. She probably spends all Sunday at the soup kitchen giving out thousands of dollars to every homeless person while saving 50 burning babies from a fiery house every day. Tracer is not fucking human. This is not a character, this is a plot device. If they are not planning on killing her off, I have genuinely no idea what the purpose of Tracer's character is. It really doesn't help with my ability to like her that her voice actress does the worst British accent I've ever heard in my entire life. None of us sound like that. I don't think any of us have ever sounded like that. And, you know, credit to her, I'm sure she probably did what was asked for her. Like, I've seen this voice actress in other things. She can do normal voices. So I'm blaming this on the director, not her. but that doesn't change the fact that every time Tracer talks, it feels like I'm having an ice pick slammed into my brain and wiggled around like a cute little lobotomy that makes me go... Speaking of grating voices, let's address the Martian in the room. Holy fucking shit, this character is annoying. Everything about Juno sucks. Similar to Tracer, she's another character with absolutely zero notable flaws and has insane proficiency with what she does for her age. But at least Juno has the excuse of being raised by rocket scientists, so that's something, I guess. Juno falls under one of my least favourite writing tropes and real-life phenomena, that being Quirk Chungus kawaii girl autism, where a lack of understanding of social norms and cues is presented as charming and cutesy rather than what it is, a colossal pain in the arse. Juno's manner of speech and voice is wildly infantilizing. There are multiple instances throughout the game where she seemingly has the brain of a child. For example, wanting to learn to speak cat, being worried about the amount of water there is in Rialto, worrying about packing a wetsuit for the rain, and for fuck's sake, talking about fucking dino nuggies in the spawn room. This is obviously played off as "Lay Mars is lay different to Earth" joke, but if you actually stop to think about it, you begin to wonder if the Red Promise Colony guys actually taught her anything about the Earth, or if her parents killed time on Mars by taking turns bashing her skull in with bricks. Another annoying thing about her is how much of her personality is just, "I'm from Mars." The entire character stinks of rushing a story to get another cute e-girl porn bait character to meet Blizzard's skin quota. A considerable chunk of her voice lines seem to emphasise where she is from and how different her culture is, which wouldn't be a problem if she was from a different culture. She is quite literally the only Martian and one of 13 to ever live there. If you are seriously telling me that in 19 years of being on the planet Mars, the team started calling humans Terrans like they're a different species, and started replacing "oh my" and "oh goodness" with "oh moons," what the fuck are you talking about? There's no way they've changed that much in 19 years. I can see that happening over hundreds of years of developing a culture, but why the fuck did it happen so fast? Did the entire team go there and go, "Right, we're on Mars now, first order of business, we must change our expletives"? This entire character fucking sucks. I can't call her a Mary Sue because her lack of social skills are technically a flaw, but they are written to be charming. But trust me, if Juno was a fat ugly guy, this shit wouldn't be charming. This is pure and simple pretty privilege and a prime example of the differing attitudes towards neurodiversity between sexes, which is especially confusing when Overwatch already has an autism girly who's written quite well. I guess Symmetra should be thanking the ozone layer that she wasn't written by a woman in her late 30s with a DDLG fetish. And that's my opinion on Overwatch's shittest characters. Bye bye.